TGIF. Thank goodness it is Friday. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I think I split that up somewhere along the line. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How's that? That's it. Because it's good morning here, and it could be good morning in Saturday for a few of the listeners. And I guess we got to keep that organized. All right. Anyhow, there you can see we are. Oh, good morning, Douglas. How you doing this morning? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You can see the Swiss is. That's not the Swiss. Where's the Swiss at? The Swiss is. Oh, there it is. I see it on the J4X, so that's good enough. Let's take a look at it there. Right there. Yep. You can see the pressure still on the downside here. This is still moving down, and let's take a look at it there. See, it's kind of stalled out at this point, trying to lift up just a little bit on the bar itself. But we're red, and yesterday we had a red and a green, and this is reds matching these three reds, and this will start to turn if we keep on moving back up like that. So that is the horsepower behind this whole situation. We have the evergreen again. Supposedly they did not pay the monies owed, which is really odd in its own right. I'm still a little confused by that. If you're the second largest economy in the world and you're getting ready to be the number one economy in the world, what is $47 million? Nothing. Take a look at these numbers. I'm going to throw that up on there. I was really surprised. I was looking at the actual raw numbers of what they need to do with Evergreen, right? And so we can move this right there. And look at these numbers. Right here in particular, while Evergreen negotiated resolutions on interest payments due today, it was also due to pay $83.5 million in an interest on a $2 billion offshore bond on Thursday. Okay, so also has a $47.5 million bond interest payment next week. Well, how? That's not even a rounding number here in the United States. Not even a rounding number. Our Congress people throw that away on a given hour with not even thinking. I mean, 47 million. They throw money like that away like it is like just trash. Nothing, like it's going into a trash can. I don't understand China. How can it be it's on the legs of becoming the second or the number one economy in the world? I don't understand how. I've been saying that for years. None of it makes any sense to me. Why the media says these crazy things, I have no idea. They have a 30-day grace period overall, right there it says, on the rating agencies, Moody's and so forth, on declaring it a default. So they're really not at the default level yet, but they keep on telling people, don't worry, we're not paying. Don't worry, we're not paying. What do you mean, don't worry, we're not paying? Overall, the overall debt of the company itself, the overall debt is $305 billion. That's it. That's all it is. This is their largest operation. JP Morgan Chase is probably our largest bank in the United States, and it's $7 trillion. I don't know how much debt it has, but I'm sure it has $2 or $3 trillion in debt. I have no doubt. So 305 is their number one player. Who thinks China is going to be the number one economy in the world very soon? I don't see that whatsoever. So this has me really perplexed and confused. When you look at these numbers, they're so small. What is? I don't. Evergreen will enter it, as it says. Evergreen will enter it 30-day grace period, while rating agencies. Okay, what's up with that? This is not $47 billion right there. I had to put it up on the screen. It is $47 million. That's incredibly small. I had to put it up. It's just incredibly small. It really is. Hey, Robin, what's cooking? No what? Oh, yeah. It'll be coming soon. Once I get 2 out of 3, I'll send it over. Right. But all right, bye-bye. So Yeah, I mean, I had to put those numbers up on the screen. It has me perplexed. Who really thinks that China could be the number one economic power in the world? I have no idea. No economic power. If they were in that situation, where they really were going to become the number one economic power in the world, well, they would pay the 47 million. That's nothing. That's, like I said, that's not even a rounding number. Billions are not even a rounding number in the United States. Billions aren't. So millions, that's like, go into the congressional office, go through the sofas, maybe there's 47 million laying in change in the congressional offices in the House of Representatives alone. Wasn't it Bernanke? Remember, I used to make that joke. Wasn't it Bernanke that found $2 billion? Where did he find it? He found $2 billion somewhere. I forget where he found it. He found $2 billion in his office somewhere. I remember that. I mean, I said it must be in the sofa. Maybe he went onto the sofa, fell asleep, it was in his pocket, and it fell out. And he found $2 billion. I remember that. I mean, we talked about it in a webinar about 7-8 years ago. And I kept on making jokes about it for like a month. I kept on saying, check those sofas, and Bernanke might find an extra billion or two more. And here we're looking at $47.5 million. That's all it is. 47.5. And just to make everybody, like the foreigners, feel like they're loved, why can't you find $83.5 million in interest payments on a $2 billion loan? I mean, that's an incredibly small number. All right, I'm going to get off the soapbox here, but those numbers had to be memorialized in a webinar. It really does. I mean, you're not looking at anything demonstrative. You're not looking like, oh, well, they've got to dig up $6 billion today to keep everybody happy. No, 47.5 million and 83.5 million total over the next 24 hours. That's all they had to dig up. I mean, I'll just have to tell people to go look at this webinar years from now when they go, we don't understand why this, the communists in China didn't make it into being the number one economy, Yeah, but I mean, you're only looking at what, 40 or 50 million. I mean, it's not billion. So I mean, that's chump change in the United States. I bet we could find 47 million or 125 million laying around in congressional situations. Not even a problem. Not even a problem. So that is my I guess that's my crazy of the day. I guess that's what that is. That's my crazy of the day. That this actually is going on, and that they're not. And so that's where we're at. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? I guess we go to. We looked at we're looking at the Swiss. Let's take a look at the weekly in this thing too. We haven't even done that. You can see here. Oh yeah, my daily is popping up already. So the daily is popping up. They're having a tough time knocking this down. I mean, it's so funny to watch the dollar be this strong. I mean, like, I'm confused, like odd funny, not like haha, our currency is strong. It's odd, I mean, when in doubt, they run to the dollar, even if the dollar is the problem. They run to the dollar. That's what's so crazy about it all. You can see here on a weekly basis, it doesn't look like it's going to, I mean, the green line is not piercing the time manifold at all on the plus side, so obviously it's not going down at this moment in time. So we'll just sit and watch that. All right, where do we go from here? Let's jump over to the euro, see what the euro is up to. Oh, hey, Oz, how you doing? Top of the morning to you, too. And good afternoon and good evening. Yeah, I just had to show those numbers. Did you see those numbers, Oz, or did you miss it? To me, it blew my mind. 47.5 million, not billion, not trillion. Just 47.5 million keeps everybody happy. I don't understand why China can't do that. What's 47 million bucks to supposedly the second most powerful nation in the world financially? I have my doubts about it being the second. I think to a great extent. It's probably the European Union. Third is probably the Commonwealth, and then from there it's probably Great Britain maybe, or China or Japan, and then China is probably like number 5 or 6. That's what I'm thinking. Because none of them would have a problem with a $47 million payment if their number one was having issues financially. So there is the euro. Let's put the euro up on J4X there. Yeah, strange times, If they didn't have the U.S. media backing them, China would be considered a third world nation. We were giving China like $1 billion a year up until last year. Trump finally stopped it as an emerging nation. It was still listed as an emerging nation, and we were giving them $1 billion a year. So weird. So weird. All right, so there's the euro. You see on the J4X, it's trying to lift. It is trying to lift. Matter of fact, that was kind of cool. Did you see that? The white line made a little move there. And then what do we have here? Now the disappointment is we climbed into a daily buy yesterday on Chicago, on my chart, my mathematics, and now it's rolling over already. Again, maybe that's why the J4X right there is fighting. It doesn't want to really go. You got the Hinky giving us a green at the moment. Yesterday we had no dot at all. You can see there was nothing there. Let's get rid of that. And today we have a green and a red, and it's lower, and it's trying to go back into the sell. We were flirting much stronger this morning when we sent that out. Look at that. That's at only 0.11, 0.00011 now. It's rolling over on us. Disappointing. I thought we were going to start to see some strength in the euro out of this. I thought, especially cable and euro going into daily buys. I saw the Aussie going into daily buy. I thought, oh, okay. Maybe this is the rotation, or the cycle down. Now we're going to cycle up. Dollar will get a little weaker. I saw where Japan, the yen was getting weaker, and I thought that's usually a sign of dollar going up, and that's kind of odd, But now it's trying to roll over. All right, on to the cable. Let's get the cable up there. Right there. Well, it's doing the same thing. It went into a daily buy yesterday, and now it's rolling over. So we had that line in there for yesterday. Now it's got a dot in there. I don't know what that's all about, because I thought it was cleanly up. Let's put it up on J4X. See how the white line is acting over there. See how the hinky is too. Hinky ashy. Right there. Look at that, moving down also. And it's having the same issues like the euro. And it's a second green right there. You can see that green yesterday, green today. And you can see here we don't have a green anymore. We had a little one there yesterday. Matter of fact, I thought it was all green at one point, but it's rolled over. Again, it always amazes me how they run to the dollar, or they run to the treasury bonds or bills to when even if we're the problem. That's the weird part. It just shows you, I guess, how everybody is working together on some level. Wow, when you really look back, all the way back to when Richard Nixon removed the gold backing of the dollar, you really have to. You got to look at that. Basically, we talked about that when there was the anniversary of Bretton Woods being broken up. But you really have to say that was really a starting point of the beginning of debt to build on this planet. That's what that was. Because before that, when the dollar was locked to gold, they just couldn't borrow much, and nobody could borrow much. But once they were all unlocked and there was nothing backing them, they started just printing paper, and paper is a lot cheaper than gold. So that seemed to open the doorway for the abuse. That's what it looks like to me. So, it's that you can almost literally pinpoint the beginning of this escalation in borrowing and debt borrowing and debt, and how this plays out, I don't, I really, Doc can speculate about a lot of things, but I don't see really a door at the moment. I don't see that exit from all this debt. I see responsibility, that I do see. In other words, I see, better politicians coming along, getting rid of these clowns that were in there, removing some of the systems that allowed them to generate such amount of debt. But I don't see an exit from the paper system. I don't see that. And I'm a big crypto person, and I really believe that as long as there's QE, there's crypto. I mean, we'd have to remove ourselves away from QE. I don't see an exit for QE either. I see a reduction. I see a long-term slow unwind, but not necessarily like over like the next 3 to 5 years. I see that as more like 20 or 30 or 40 years from now. That's I really do. I don't see an unwind that clearly happening in a short period of time, like over a decade. I don't see that. And so as long as there's QE and there's no complete unwind of it all, there's no reason not to believe. In other words, I believe you'll see cryptos gain more leverage, more footing, more respect. I think all that will stick around for a long while there. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? We go over to the Turkish lira. We look at the Turkish lira in two forms. We look at it in the dollar against the Turkish lira, and we look at it. Whoa! All right, all-time highs, and we've hit our dots again. That was that's the spot that we've been looking for. That's why the dots are there. And let's give that a refresh like that. Okay, look at that, banging up against the dots, rolling with the homies. Yeah, look at that, banging the dots. Let's see how they treat it from there. We're in a weekly and daily buy, and we suggested last week that we expected to see it run to the dots, and there it has. Let's check it out on J4X. I'm sure it's rocking and a rolling and a reeling over there too. And then we follow it a second way. We look at the Turkish lira through the euro against the Turkish lira, which is very insightful. Oh, well, look at that. And the Hinky actually has been screaming it for a couple weeks there now. And you can see here, our work went into a daily buy here when the Hinkies, which was really nice. Look at this. The Hinkies start to do that stuff. When is that? That is, where's that? We'll get that in a second. So the Hinkies started that stuff. See the white line and all like that? It started to get pierced. We get the Hinkies. It goes a little in and out, but that's all right. What is that? That's back in September 6th, right? And then we go into a daily buy right there on September 7th, right? There's September 7th, and we haven't. And then we go into a sell on the euro. No, this is the dollar. Okay, so the dollar goes back into a sell for a couple of days with that, and then jumps back into a daily buy again there on 9/16. What's that? August 16th, right? Yeah, August 16th. No, September 16th. I'm sorry, September 16th. So it goes back into the buy there, and it's been running ever since. And when we join in with the weekly, which means that you can be long any way you like at that point, because it has an 8.5 out of 10 success rate, and sure enough, it just runs. So that's the action with the dollar and the euro. Now we find that Azaz likes to say, what is the best percentage winner, that type of thing. And what I like about this is there's just less trades. So it has the same percentile, but it's just less trades. Notice the distances between the buys and the sells. And it went into the sell there 2 days ago, and then it jumped right back into the buy yesterday, and then there it goes. There's just less trades. So in other words, in this case here, in our work, it went into the buy, then went into the sell, and went back into the buy here for that nice move up, then goes into a sell, and then goes back into the buy. Whereas on the dollar pair, it's been in the buy since here, and in this case, it's a little flip. Usually, it's the opposite. usually euro does that type of thing, but in this case here the dollar did. So, but either way, it's buy, buy, buy. Keep on, stay long, or you'll be wrong. That type of thing. So that's where it's at this point. Now, now it's if you've been long following our math or watching the J4X, it's money management now. In other words, you have your stop set up right. You might sell calls against it or binaries. You might do all kinds of fun things. There's all because you're locking in your dollars. I saw matter of fact. Let me digress. I saw a money manager on yesterday. They call him Sarge. I remember him from the floor. He used to work on the New York floor. He was a floor broker and a market maker combination. And when I remember when I was young and I was a member there, I remember Sarge. And I don't think he's a Payne Weber guy, but somehow or another in my head I think he's a Payne Weber, did execution for Payne Weber. But anyway, he was saying that yesterday. He was, taking profits on stuff that he had bought 2 days beforehand, and then they said, well, it's still going up, and he said, yeah, well, I'm still long it. It's just that I've taken profits on stuff I bought 2 days ago. And they were like, well, yeah, but how's that work? And he goes, well, if you buy something and you make money in it, you got to take a profit. So I'm still long a lot of it, but I took profits on some of the short-term stuff, and that's how it always does work. If you, I used to say here a lot, and I do say it once in a while, if you have a position on and you're making money in it, and you don't take it off when it's making money, the chances are the next time you're taking it off is when it's losing money. That's not a good thing. So, all right. From there we go over to Canadian, right there, and you can see the Canadian slipped into the sell. Was it 2 days ago? Back here, went into a buy there for those couple of days, and then it went. I thought we put those lines in yesterday. I'm confused how we lose those lines, but let's just put those lines in again. So the sell right there, and I'll show you why that's a sell for those that are new here, because it's a minus. See that right there? Plot 1 is minus 0.00019er. So it's a minus, and so that's a sell. Like that. Just as right there is the buy. Right there. And we're climbing into that sell. As you can see on the fact check spreadsheet, that's line 20. Let's highlight that on the machine here. Right there, we've been 15 weeks in a buy. Right there. So, oh hey, let's see. Says the dragon was boss cloaked in silk and burning gunpowder first, firewalled a worthless adversarial stirs. Corn, what about corn, soybeans, and wheat? Sure, I'll throw it up there. No problem at all. I like that, Oz. I'm not sure what it's all about, but it sounds pretty cool to me. The boss was cloaked in silk and burning gunpowder first. Firewalled a worthless, maybe? The worthiest of adversaries stir. I like that. That's pretty cool. Is that the, oh wait a minute, the dragon. Okay, yes. That's what it was. So you're saying that's the China thing. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with you. Yeah, that does. That makes sense to me. Okay, the answer is. All right, so where am I at from there? Let me think. So yeah, that makes. I'm drinking that in. That's right. That's exactly the way China is. All right, so there's CAD. Looks like after 15 weeks, we're heading for that sell maybe. We'll see how the end of the day plays out there. We're in the daily sell, so there's a good possibility. let's see. I guess let's go on to, where do we go? Oh, I know what we do. We do this. We go over to the metals sector now, and the energies, that's what it is. We go over to there. Oh, I know what it was. Robin wanted to go look at the grains. Let me go to the grains. Open those up too. Let me do that. Right there. I know I'm going in like 3 directions. Yeah, there we go. It's opening up now. We'll take a look at those things. They look pretty firm this morning. There we go. Alrighty, let's go over to there now. Normally we go to the metal sector, but we'll do that right after this. Let's see, let's go to 1. There it is. Now Robin was asking for corn. Let's take a look at corn. There's deck corn. As you can see there, the deck corn looks like it's going to close in that weekly buy. You can see here, you know, it's easily been in a daily buy for a bunch of days here. And then on Dukascopy we have what is it? We do have soybeans, so we can do soybeans on Dukascopy. Where's that at? Let's go find Dukascopy's soybeans. Yeah, it's right there. So there's soybeans. Let's jump over to that. You can see it's trying to turn up. You can see that right there. That's curious, that blue and so forth. But we'll go from there. Let me put it up on the Chicago side of it. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. You see that? You know, it's been a daily buy for a couple of days, and it's flirting. It's trying to get into that weekly buy there. Not yet, you know, not yet. And then last but not least, we have the wheat. Now, I'm surprised wheat is so strong still. Here's the deck wheat, trading in the over $7 a bushel still. Not bad, huh? So. And you know, I'm amazed. You know, I have to say that again. I'm amazed that it's holding up. That's the thing that really gets me. That is really something. Yeah. So I don't know anything more to say about that. You know, let's see what oats look like. Now you got my curiosity. Let's see what oats is doing too. You know, it's like the 4th grain. That thing's over $5. Look at that, $5.80. It's going for $6. Robin had told me something yesterday about the idea that farmers say, was it wheat makes us cry? Well, if wheat makes farmers cry, then I am. I mean, wow. What you know, what are oats doing? Is that because of breakfast or what? I don't know. Look at oats. Usually oats is like quoted like 2/3 the value of, or is that sorghum? I think it's sorghum. It usually quotes 2/3 the corn. But how do they quote the oats? I mean, the oats are rocking. And that is it, I guess we can say, with all the commodities. And then we'll go back to the metals. Norway. Let's see, corn, wheat, and soybeans. What's that about Norway? No problem. waiting to hear for that one. All right, let's go to the metals complex while we're figuring out what Norway is all about. A little disappointed again. I'm not there. Let's see. A little disappointed again with the gold and so forth. There's gold. It's just hanging on the threads, you know. Yeah, you know, look at that. They cannot get this metal to go, and here we are, you know, we're seeing Canadian firm, we're seeing it lift, but we're not getting the metals complex on this side of it. Now we did see silver holding up, but it won't go on, you know, won't go into a weekly buy. And that is where we're at there. Let's just take a look at silver. Let's do that. Right there. There's silver. Oh no, it was holding up firm. It's breaking down too. How can, you know, we're seeing Canadian move down. We're seeing, I wonder what oil's doing. Let's see what oil's doing. I really thought they were doing an arbitrage on that stuff to begin with. Okay, so even oil is down today. And we're watching at the same time, let's take it over on J4X. They're taking Canadian down at the same time. So that's usually the odd. Usually they're moving in the same direction. So it's, you know, that's the answer to that.
Robin R.
Okay, there we are. Let's see what Robin wants now. Hey, hey, hey. Robin? Oh, okay. Let me stick. Oh, yeah. Let me fix that. Thanks. Tell me that. That's good. When you see that, let me know. Oh, the chat? Okay. Good. Okay. No problem. So anyway, there we are. I don't understand the total weakness. It doesn't really matter that much. There's, who knows, it could be, maybe Canada is not affected by the evergreen, or yeah, who knows. But I am surprised to see gold and silver and all start to weaken up, see the oil moving down, and not seeing Canadian go up against dollar. Instead, it's going down. So that's kind of a positive thing, you know. Odd positive. And then we go back over here again. We can take a look at it right there to finish off this side of it. And what is that? Now we're moving back up. So it's doing its thing. Okay. So Canada is moving back up. That's what it should be doing with these metals moving down. And we're still in the daily sell. It's got some work to do, but this weekly, we'll have to see what that weekly tries to pull on its own, you know. And that is the recipe there, I guess. So now what we do is we go to the South African Rand. And let's check out the South African Rand. South African Rand, saying it a third time in a row, usually should be, let's see, before I put the picture up, I want to say what I think it should be doing with all the way the metals are, and that is going back up again. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice spike. Ouch. So that's following its course, and so is Canadian to some extent, but the one thing that caught my eye more than anything else was the fact that, and I guess this is a little surprising. See how it went up and just missed the weekly buy right here, and then this week they've knocked it down below the time manifold right there. And with this type of action, I would think that they're going to try to turn it, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So this could be shallow. In other words, it could be just a sideways action, and then. Remember, we're coming up on the holidays. Usually India starts to buy gold and silver, and then the Western countries start to buy gold and silver, and then from the Western countries, after Christmas, you've got the, what do they call it, the January and February in China with New Year's. They start to buy it, and Japan does. So we're moving into that situation right now in that area where they start to purchase this stuff. Now let's just see what the South African Rand looks like on the J4X there. Now look at that big spike right there. Now the Hinky's gone green. This thing's not letting go. So, that's the name of the game we have going on there. And let's see, the currency there, Doc, was, what name is it? Was that the? Let's see, I'm missing. The currency we were looking at was the Canadian dollar against Canadian. Is that what we were thinking about? I was looking at that. Let me just throw the chart up again, where the South African Rand. Let me just do that again. This one right here. The one thing is for sure is that, after 15 weeks, it's trying to get into that weekly sell again. We'll see how that holds up. If this lifts up more tonight, and they take the metals down today, then all of a sudden we're going to be, seeing that action all over again. It's going to be doing that same gig again. So is that what you were looking for, Douglas? Canadian? Now let's drift over to, let's see, let's drift over to the ruble, right there. The ruble's moving back up again, trying to get back into that buy after going into the daily sell there yesterday. Still in the weekly sell. Overall, I think a lot of these currencies are just chopping. The one that's probably surprising me is now that they lowered interest rates in Turkey, and it's just driving their currency up. I think that's pretty much the attitude about it all. And we'll see if this starts to join in again, the J4X. It will sooner or later. It'll join in with our charts there. Now let's drift over to the yen. Again, I was surprised the yen was showing that strength yesterday. Kept on thinking, is it warning us? Sure was. The dollar is strong. Yeah, I see a second day of that on the J4X. And let's put it here. It was, it did. It floated through my mind when I saw that. I thought, if I'm trading that, I'd be covering. And if I was short it. And sure enough, look at that. We went into the weekly buy last week. We're going to be on a second week with it closing like this with no problem whatsoever, unless there's a real slam today. And you can see they gave us a volatility warning there, closed in a daily buy there, and it's moving up there. All right, just making sure everybody can see what I can see, what you can see, what we all can see. All right, from there we go over to the Mexican peso. There it is right there. Put it up on J4X. Right there. Same thing, it's spiking up. Okay. They're both spiking up, and you can see it's flirting with not going into the sell. Same situation here. It went into the sell. Now it's trying to climb out of it. But what's curious is that the weekly is holding up there. Again, because of these weeklies kind of stalled out, I don't really think that there's a lot of get up and go. I think we used to call it that on the trading floors. Not a lot of get up and go right now. There's not a lot of conviction for a lot of these products. I think it's just meandering along, waiting for the next news cycle that will give us, some type of direction. Because that's the best way to call it. Waiting for a news cycle, something major that gives us, some type of like, oh, you need to be long this, or oh, you want to be long that, or oh, something of that nature. And that's really where it comes down to. That really does. Right now we are sitting in a situation where these markets are waiting for a lot of interesting international news, like the China situation, or the U.S. The Congress is talking about spending. Now they're saying they call it the 3.5 trillion. I'm sorry, $3.5 trillion spending package, not billion and million, but trillion. They're saying now it's priced out at 4.3 trillion. So they gave it a name, but it's not really indicative of the money being spent. So I mean, that alone you would think would be a reason to run away from the dollar, but no, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Not at all. Maybe they know better. It doesn't look like it's going to pass either way. So they passed something. They're trying to pass something in the House. It still hasn't passed. They have it in committee still, but it's still looking kind of crazy. Still looking kind of crazy. All right. From there, we go over to. Might as well go over to the currencies. Not the currencies. Unless someone wants to see something, we'll go over to the. What do you call it? The stock indices, right there. There it is. And you can see there, the S&P 500. This is an intraday, so we'll put these up individually as an intraday. You can see there, it's kind of flat lined there, and it's down about was it 20? Where's that price at? There it is, right there, down 25 points. I mean, it made like 50 some odd points yesterday, so it's only given about half of it back. Then and you can see this if we widen this out a little bit. You can see it tried to climb into the buy here, kind of sloppily marched its way up, and then it goes into a sell, a couple bars down, and a spike up on that one. And, it doesn't do good. It's a loser, and then that one's a winner again, but just by a hair. Not even. They're just. Something's got it all stalled out. Look at that. They've given up on the action. Not sure what news. I'll be looking around to see what news is going on there, but you can see that's kind of trapped. And I'm sure that's the S&P 500. And let me show you. Well, you know what? I'll put it up on J4X, and then what we'll do is we can go look at the daily too at the same time. So there it is right there, and it's moving down also. And let's see, where are we at here? Oh yes, there it is. I'm going to do Control R on that too, right there. Let's see if the tag is doing something there. No, can't get anything out of that one either. Alright, I'm just going to send it over either way. So let me just save that. Now you can see there, the S&P 500 is lifting, holding lots of strength, and even with the selling that they're doing today, it's not giving up even half of what it lost yesterday, or gained yesterday. I'm sorry, and so there's no real paranoia there that the world's coming to an end or any of that other stuff. And it's just kind of slow and steady. Best way to describe that. And then last but not least. Let's see. Oh, not last. Let's try it this way. So now let's go over to here again and look at what they call the Tech 100, and that is right there, the Nasdaq 100, and it's doing the same thing. It seems to be doing that somewhat bottom sideways stuff, like a reverse head and shoulders thing, and it's getting really tight here in the manifolds. And let's just take a look at that on a day-to-day basis, and we'll take a look at our work on that day-to-day basis also. But just to start off with, just taking a look at the intraday itself. So then from there, you can see it's aimed up, same situation on a day-to-day basis. That's what that is, the day-to-day basis situation there. And there we go. Then at the same time, we go over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look at that. Now that was up over 500 points, almost 600 points yesterday, something like that, 550. And today is down maybe 100 and change. I'll just throw that up there real quick. And then we can take a look at the dailies and those things. And right there, 154 points. So barely 1/3. It's barely giving up 1/3 of its value there. And so that's not too bad. When you have something like that, and it doesn't give up that much. It's kind of like 1/3 retracement, half retracements, That's not exactly something to be paranoid about. Now, if this goes on throughout the day and we start to see giving back actually the bulk of yesterday, then you start to worry what a Monday could bring. That can put a chill in the markets overall. Again, what they'll do is they'll start reaching for bonds. Dollar will get firm. The stock indices start to drop. And here I'm going to show you right there. Let's go. I'm going to go back over to the bonds and take a look at that. And what you'll see is the bonds were just a monster move yesterday. Monster, like in real powerful move. Let's find them right there. There we are. Check out these bonds yesterday, and then we can go look at our dailies here. See where there's the 30-year right there, ZB. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Check this out. Let's see, right there. Look at the way that thing dropped yesterday. It went into the sell. It's still weakening here, pushing itself cleanly with no problem into the weekly sell. But if they get paranoid, they think that something is wrong, then what we're going to see is we're going to see a whole lot of action this afternoon. That'll happen. I mean, that's what we'll see. We'll see a lot of action if that starts to get going. I think there's got to be disappointment on some level. The fact that they couldn't find $47.5 million to pay bond depositors. That's no way. There's no way you're going to become the world power if you can't kick out $47 million to keep everybody happy. So, all right, let's see. Let's do this. We'll go up here and just take a real quick look again. Excuse me, on the short term. And then what we'll do is there's the three. You can see they're bouncing back up again. They're getting some legs in them. I'm not sure how much action we're really going to see, but that is how they are acting this morning. They are showing life, in the sense of they're trying to bounce off whatever had them kind of stalled out over the last half hour seems to be stopping, and they're reaching for them again, which is not that far-fetched. There we go. As we can see on the dailies, let's show you the dailies now. So we'll match up. So the first one we'll do is we'll take a look at the Dow Jones right there. And you can see we had left the Fibonacci's up for that also. A little advertisement for Passion. Passion does webinars here at Dukascopy also, and is involved in the Fibonacci sequence very actively. And just show you here, we just left up a couple, and we have one on the British pound. I don't think we talked about it, but here you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Whoop, didn't mean to touch that. Right there. You can see it maybe I extended it a little bit. Doesn't matter. You can see here it played around in the 0.62 right there. Stalled out on it. You can see the close yesterday was right around there. Today's start was the same way, and now it's playing down. Heading over to, let's do the S&P 500 again on a daily now. Let's put that in there. Right there, there's S&P 500, and do we have it up on there? Yeah. So you can see this is lifted through on the daily, like ours has lifted through its daily, showing a little weakness in here, just like everything else at the moment. And the weekly is flirting on the edge of trying to get into the buy, but not doing too good a job. Whereas when we go back to my Dow Jones Industrial Average, right there, you see it's not climbing through the weekly at all. So we'll see how that plays out next week. Then last but not least, let's look at the Tech 100 right there. Now that never went into a weekly sell to begin with. It's just kind of hanging in there, And we'll put it up on J4X here. There it is, the Tech 100. As much as it's moving down today and giving up probably the most, it's down 111, 112 now, and it was up 152. So it's given it's kind of funny. The S&Ps are giving up 50% of what it made yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is giving up a third, and the Nasdaq or Tech 100 is giving up 2/3, which is really interesting. They're almost on those numbers. Perfect example of the Fibonacci and the way it works. Everybody good there now? I'm just double checking, making sure you can see all charts and so forth. All good? Cool. So that is that. That's the stock indices. Seems like everybody, and that should pretty much give you a general idea. And we're going to see today, it's going to be interesting to see how this whole market plays itself out going into, and let me just look, I'm curious, let me just go look and see if there's any news whatsoever that came out that I didn't, during the webinar, that may have had an effect on the way the market's stalled out there on the downside. Let's see, here it goes. CDC Director overrules Science Advisory Panel, backs booster for high risk. That was out a while ago. That was out before we even started the webinar. I don't see any news yet. Robobank, yesterday's reflation. Okay, that could have been it. Here we go. Robobank, yesterday's reflation. Trade appears to be old-fashioned glue sniffing. That's not a compliment, that's for sure. That was basically about 15 minutes ago. So let's just go take a look at the short term again and see when that market kind of stalled out. We'll use the S&P 500 to look at. So right there is, see, so that's when the webinar started, and then that information came out right here, and they're buying. Maybe they were front running it. So this is at the beginning of the webinar. The markets seem to have stalled out on this little sell-off, went sideways, had no direction. Then Robobank article came out right here, and they started to buy U.S. stocks. It's hard to believe. See if there's anything else out there on the news cycle that even matches up. And that's kind of like the neat thing, is to be able to match up the news cycles to the math. No, I don't see anything else out there. Everything else is headlined well, much earlier, so it's not that bad at all. Alrighty. What else can we say? Where are we at here? Okay, we got about 4 or 5 minutes, so there's plenty of time. If anybody wants to see anything, just shout it out. Shout it out. Shout. Shout. What it's all about. So, that's pretty much about it when it comes to the stock indices. Let's, what do we look at here? We looked at, we didn't look at is, let's look at platinum too. I want to look at platinum because I didn't look, and we might as well look at copper. We didn't look at those two metals because we jumped into commodities. Let's see, which page is that? Oh, it's over here. Let's go find that again. Just want to see where platinum is. See if platinum was flirting with a weekly buy all week long. So let's see if platinum is going to hold up into that today. If they start selling that down, oh my God, Katie barred the door. Yeah, look at that. No, that's platinum. Platinum is now trading minus 0.10. That was plus all week long. All week long, and they went into a daily sell yesterday, and they're knocking her down. That is, where's Monday? There's Monday? There's, I'm confused. 21, then 20, there's 22, 23, 24, okay. Today is Friday, right? Where's today, Thursday? I'm confused now altogether. It's Friday, yeah, it's TGIF. Yes, it's Friday. So, it had a massive leap up from Monday. I mean, this thing came from 900 to 1,000. Went $100 up. And, we've been in, and we were flirting. We're 20 weeks in a weekly sell on this product. That's line 7, as you can see right here. 20 weeks in a weekly sell. I thought for sure. I mean, they put it up above. I thought, oh, it's going to hold on, and now they're starting to slam it back down again. Wow, you just can't get these metals to go. And let me just look at gold again. Gold at the lows of the day. It is amazing. The world is in all kinds of strange, situations at the moment, with the Chinese situation and the budget thing here in the States. And you would think that they'd be, and inflation, you would think they'd be running directly towards metals, silver and so forth. You would think that they would be like buying that stuff like it's cotton candy, like a kid in a candy store. It is very surprising that we don't see that. Now let's take a look at what I like to call China's gold, and that is the copper. Let's see what the copper's doing here. Right there. And that's deck copper. And it's perked up again. It was moving down and moving up and jumping around. Looks like it's going to easily climb into the weekly buy unless something nutso occurs, over the next couple hours. Yeah, I just refreshed it. Looks awful firm. It's been a daily buy, but hasn't gone anywhere for the last 2 days. And let's check out the silver one more time. December silver at the lows of the day. Ay, 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 and it was trying to get into that buy. I thought for sure we were going to get, I saw platinum take off. I thought, finally. Boy, it just cannot get going. Not whatsoever. They just don't have the what's the word? Conviction. They just don't have the conviction to do that. They really don't.
Carl B.
So, let's see what else we got going on there. So, last but not least, I guess we just have to find a title. We're going to get out of here. So this is Doc from North America. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. Let me see. We'll have to come up with a title for this thing. And we will catch you all on the flip side. Happy trails to you until we meet again. I want to sing instead of pick up the phone. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Arrivederci, traders. Catch you on the flip side Monday. TGIM. Thank goodness it's going to be Monday. So that's where we're at now.